Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Alex here, and in today's video we're gonna talk about your questions. We're gonna answer your questions. This is the Etihad cabin crew Q&A. Now this Q&A is not only for Etihad Airways but also applies to Emirates, Qatar. Questions that kind of cover a lot of the Middle Eastern cabin crew experience. Let's say many of you asked me about those interviews, how to apply, how to become a cabin crew. We're gonna answer them. I mainly have here questions from my YouTube channel, so some of them I answered already, so I don't want to repeat myself all the time. Now, without further ado, let's go. Let's see some of your questions, guys. Let me change the view here. All right, so this is the first question, and I'll go in sequence randomly, right? This is from YouTube. Etihad requires compulsory customer service experience for cabin crew? Question mark. The answer to this is yes. Absolutely. You need customer service experience to become a cabin crew in those Middle Eastern airlines. And if you get hired without customer service, it is an exception to the rule and it is something extraordinary. It's not common. Okay, next question. Do you get paid if you're on standby but don't get a flight? And then I actually answered this. We get paid for airport standby only. What does that mean? We go in the airport, we sit there for like 4 hours or 5 hours, and we just wait for something bad to happen to operations, basically, and for them to give us a random flight. That's what we are paid for because we actively go to the airport and we wait there. But if I'm on home standby, which is I'm just here confined in my home, I'm just chilling here for a bit, waiting to get a flight, then I don't get paid for this standby time. It's funny because I was actually on standby this morning and I didn't get the flight, which is fine. I enjoy to just chill on my standbys and be off, basically. Next question. I passed the video assessment and waiting for my next schedule email. I'm afraid of my height. Are they really strict to a minimum 160 centimeters, or they will accept if you reach the minimum arm reach requirements? Well, it really depends, because if I say something now, tomorrow it might change. Why do I say that? Because sometimes they post 160 centimeters as a height requirement. Sometimes they post 212 centimeters on the tiptoes as a height requirement. So you must be able to reach that test, right? So it really depends. Just read the requirements today that you're applying for, and that will help. I think that's going to be fine, right? So right now, I believe it's 160. You just must be 160 and that's it. They will measure you and that's it. But again, those things change all the time. So be updated for the latest ones. I think if you're 160 at least, generally it's fine. All right, so I guess this is a question for ladies. From a lady. Once you are recruited, how many years you have to wait before getting pregnant? Well, I would say first of all, the most important thing is your probation. You shouldn't get pregnant in your probation, right? Because it is your probation. You are there to come to work. And if you just get hired and then you go missing for 9 months because you're pregnant, that's not really an ideal situation, right? So you must respect the employer. You must respect the company you're working for, and do not do that in the first 6 months. I would say do not do that in the first year, to be honest with you. You're at the beginning stages and you want to accumulate that experience, and I guess it's better just to wait a little bit before having a kid. If you're married. If you're not married and you're having a kid in UAE, it might be a bit, dicey. It might be a bit problematic. So also don't do that. Try to be married before having a kid in the United Arab Emirates. Now, during this Q&A, I'll be rambling a lot. Some of the questions I will just take my time to answer. Some of them I'll answer them very quickly. So don't break my balls for it. Let's see. The next question. How do you bid for your trips? Is it seniority based from a United States flight attendant? It's not really seniority based. It is based on ranks. Like I can obviously request my flights within my rank, but to be honest, it's quite random. It is not seniority based as far as I know. Everybody's kind of treated equally from a bidding standpoint. I do usually get my bids, at least one of them, so that's fine, I guess. Next question. Hi Alex, I've been following content. All right. I was wondering if you have uploaded any talking about training with the company, if they pay an aid for lunch or how it works. So during the training, are you getting free food? The answer to that is no. But you do have a canteen. You do have a place where you can buy food for relatively affordable, you know, for an affordable amount. Like it's not expensive, right? So you do have the canteen within the compound and you can buy your food there and it's not expensive. All right, super. Hello, sir. Greetings of the day. Greetings. I always say greetings when I start my videos. I guess it's a bit funny. I have my own verbal tics. Sometimes I just say random words. So this is me on YouTube. This is what it is. Okay, is palm sweating an issue that can stop me to become a cabin crew? So if your palms are getting sweaty, is it a problem? I have very gym palms, big sausage fingers. So yes, the short answer is yes. I believe this can be a problem because think about it. You're dealing with customers, right? With passengers, you're dealing with food, and you must keep everything hygienic at all times. Can they check for that before they hire you? I highly doubt it, but it is something that you should consider before applying for one of those jobs. Think about it. Again, you're dealing with food and you're dealing with guests all the time. Does Etihad accept bald men as crew? And I had this question quite a lot. To be honest with you guys, in recent years, I haven't seen any bald men joining directly the company. I have seen it previously, before 2020, I have seen it quite a few times. Especially we used to have something called a chef or a FMB on board back in the days. It was a different story. They came with a lot of experience from different backgrounds. Usually they were being chefs in restaurants. But nowadays, guys, to be honest with you, nowadays, usually it's not the case. Now, what happens if you get hired and you become bald after the fact? It's fine. You just have to trim your hair properly, you know, no spots, no weird inflections. You just have to shave bald all the way, I guess, if you're getting bald considerably, and that's it. Your style and image, your presentation must look good. And some bald people, they look fine. They look great, actually. All right. By stabilize, do you mean you're getting married? So I think this is a reply from a video when I said I need to get stabilized, I need to get my life in order or something of this nature. And I don't know if I was referring to getting married necessarily. Now, here's what's the thing with getting married nowadays. For guys, it's a bit dodgy. I feel like as a girl, as a lady, you have much more of an advantage by marriage, by getting married, than a guy. Oftentimes, guys, for them, it's a burden from many points of view, especially financially. It's a burden to get married. Many girls nowadays, they want to be treated like princesses and so on and so forth. So it can be a lot of financial stress for the guys. And also nowadays, there's lack of trust. You know, everybody wants to get their best deal out of a marriage. It's not like there's love anymore. It's very weird. And usually people are getting divorced a lot nowadays. So I'm quite skeptical about marriage itself, but I do believe in partnership. I do believe you can get on with a person, maybe make a bunch of kids. Now, it's weird to say that and not be married, but I don't know. I don't know what I think about marriage at a certain point. Do I want to find a good woman that I can be with and maybe have a family one day, yes. I'm not getting married at the moment anytime soon, that's for sure. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. There's a lot to talk about here, guys, a lot to talk about. Obviously, I come from a European background. It's not as easy to find a partner nowadays in Europe, right? We as guys have a lot of issues nowadays. Girls, they have a lot of issues nowadays. So at the end of the day, nobody likes each other anymore. So, you know, it's very weird indeed. But maybe this can be a subject for a video at one point. Okay, this is a long question. I mean, quite a bit of text. Have been to Abu Dhabi one day, okay. Are you as a cabin crew allowed to jump sit in the cockpit during landing in some crew configurations or when flying off duty? Greetings from Vienna, actually. And how many aircraft licenses does Etihad crew normally have? All right, so are you allowed to fly on a jump seat in the cockpit? Yes. It's been a while since I've done it because usually I get the area of responsibility, but oftentimes additional crew, they can ride in the cockpit if the cabin manager allows it and if the pilots allow it. So those two criteria, they both have to say, yes, why not? We'll just let you go in the cockpit for this landing. Flying off duty, it can be possible if you're flying on standby and there's no seats left in the plane. As a cabin crew, you can actually go on the jump seat and fly on the jump seat. So if you are flying as a passenger, Etihad allows you to use the jump seat if the flight is full. If you're flying as a passenger for Emirates, for example, on the contrary, you're not allowed to use the jump seat, only in Etihad. I'm not sure about Qatar. I hear different things, but yeah. How many aircraft licenses does Etihad have? It really depends. For example, I have the 380, I have the 320 family, I have the Boeing 777 and the Boeing 787, and that's about it for me. All right, let's see. Next question, ladies and gents. I am 20 years old. That's what he says. I'm doing hotel management and IATA diplomas. Okay, cool. All right, that's cool, but you should get maybe a customer service job until you apply. So you're doing great, you're in college, you have some diplomas, you're doing hotel management, which is a great diploma if you want to become a cabin crew, but you don't have any customer service jobs. So I would say maybe do a volunteering if you want to do it at the same time as your college, or just get hired somewhere part-time in a freaking restaurant. How hard that can be, it's very easy. And restaurants and hotels always need people to hire. So it's very easy to get one of those jobs, right? Next question, is that okay if I have a man bun? A man bun to become a cabin crew? Absolutely not. Rejected. It is not allowed. It is not allowed. If you have to have a classy hairstyle, a proper hairstyle, not a man bun. Is it easy to become a cabin crew now? This is a very, very super generalistic question, guys. This is a very super general question. It is depending on so many things. For some people, it's very easy. They go to those interviews and they get hired the next day. They get the first try. They apply for it and they succeed in the first try. Other people are not that lucky. I know a guy that tried 9 times. 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 times he tried until he succeeded. You know, it was quite a journey. He was told so many times he cannot do it. He was rejected. But in the end, the 9th time, he made it. So for some people, it can be very easy. For some people, it can be very difficult. I know some people, again, they're already 30 years old and they started applying at 24, 23. It was just not meant to be, but they succeeded at 30. This is a very weird question. Like, I don't know what is happening with this question. What's the point? Like, do you get horny while flying? How do you manage? What question is this? I guess I just included it here for the fun of it, you know, for entertaining purposes. No, I don't think about that. Like I'm just there to work. When I'm going to work, guys, I go to work. I'm not thinking about other things. That's okay to do on your time off, but I don't think it's good to mix up work and pleasure, right? So the answer is no. Jesus. Okay, next question. Do they check weight on interviews? My BMI is slightly above 25. Oh, all right. This is a long video already, I think. How many minutes? Oh my God. Okay. Do they check weight on interviews? They don't necessarily check the weight, but by the look of it, by eyesight, they can see you. It's just plain and simple. Now, I know we're in 2024, 2025 soon, right? And people are sensitive, and you know, I don't want to offend anybody's feelings, and I hope nobody gets offended. But guys, the way you present yourself to an interview, the way you look, right? Your looks, generally speaking in life, they do matter. People want to say, no, it's all about what's in your brain and what's in your soul. But the truth, the reality is that looks still matter. So for those particular interviews, the best thing you can do is try to be the best version of yourself before applying to this interview. Right? If your hair is messed up, if you don't have a hairstyle, try to go to a barber shop, see how you can change that. Maybe you can make some changes on your look that will positively influence the overall look, and you know, it might give you a better result. Why not do that? What's stopping you to do that? It's perfectly fine, right? The same thing with weight. If you think you need some weight management, if you think that BMI is too high, just work on it, do it. And trust me, guys, I've been there. During COVID, I gained some weight, and you know, I was a bit depressed, and I was not in a good mood. But everything comes to an end, you know. One day is bad, the other day will be great. You just have to think positively and try to get out of that paradigm, that pattern. Yes, they don't really check the weight, but they can see you and they can recognize if something is not good, is not okay. Obviously, the Middle Eastern companies like Etihad, Qatar, Emirates, and other Asian ones like Singapore Airlines, they're the best in the world, right? They have a high standard when it comes to everything. So use your judgment. If you think that BMI is too high, try to work on it. Do some positive changes, you know, diet, exercise, you know the thing. I know the theory, you know the theory, everybody knows the theory. It's all about the practice. Practicing it, that will get you ahead of the competition, guys. And that will propulse you, that will get you where you want to be. This is what the ancient Greeks were talking about, guys. They were talking about this. A healthy body leads to a healthy mind. I hope that answers your question. Let's move forward. All right. How do you manage sleep with such schedules? This is actually a reply to this. Sometimes I don't. Guys, this is the job of a cabin crew in Middle East. It's a job in which you may be sleep deprived at times. Maybe you don't get your sleep properly. And you didn't sleep for 20 plus hours, and that just happens sometimes. And it is part of the job, unfortunately. It is one of the worst things about the job itself. That's what I would say. As an experienced cabin crew, I've been here for quite a while. Managing sleep is not easy. Sometimes I take two different approaches. Whenever I go in layovers, I try to use the local time in Abu Dhabi. And sometimes I would enter the sleep as much as you want mode. Sleep as long as you want, try to sleep whenever you can, and stuff like that. So it really depends. It really depends. Do what works for you. That's what I would say. But again, this is the worst part of the job, in my opinion. You are having day shifts and you are having night shifts. And sometimes you have them side by side in a roster, which is not easy. Okay, next question. Alex, I finally received the video assessments and okay, I have questions. How would we know that my assessment is under review? Well, simple. Simple because it's written there, right? It is written. Oftentimes it tells you assessment in progress or under review and things of this nature. And also you get emails as updates. So what you have to do is always stay posted with what is happening on your site, on your application, and also track your emails. Pay attention to your emails. Okay, I like this question. I like this question because I myself, I'm a tech geek. I am a gamer, right? Can we bring our PC monitors with us when we get approved? Absolutely, of course you can. You have like 60 kilos. After you get approved, then you have to move to Abu Dhabi, you have to move to Dubai. If you apply to Emirates, you have to move to Qatar. If you apply to Qatar Airways, and you can bring your stuff with you, at least in small amounts. Now, it depends how big is your monitor. If it can enter a suitcase and you fit a suitcase, that's fine. PC as well, I recommend having one of those mini PCs. I think it's better to carry with you. But yeah. Hit me up if you want to play some Counter-Strike, some Valorant, some Age of Mythology, something. It's always good to see other gamers, or maybe a YouTuber, who knows. Okay. Just started watching your videos recently. Your videos are great. Got a question watching this video. Will the company provide you the housing allowance if you choose to stay in a different apartment of your choice? Yes, but there's two reasons why. Actually, there's one reason. One main reason would be getting married, right? So if you get married, that's when you can actually take an allowance and live outside. Now, the second thing is, if you just want to live outside, out of company premises, you can do that, but it is out of your own expense. So if you are single and not married, but you want not to live in Etihad premises, then you can live outside. It is fine, but it's on your own expense. Otherwise, get married and move in with your spouse outside of Etihad premises. You can do that. Many people in Etihad, they do get married, but they choose to stay within Etihad premises because the rents in Abu Dhabi, they're just quite high compared to the amount of allowance you get. So, everybody's different. It's a different topic. You will see after you get in the company, right? Okay, this is gonna be the last question. This is from Instagram actually, and it's from one of my longtime subscribers and followers. When you are going on layovers in hotels, how do you manage your sleep? You are going to sleep whenever you feel tired, or you are following destination time or Abu Dhabi time? Oh, whatever. I just answered this in a previous question, actually. Sorry, my bad. I answered your question before time. So you actually mentioned the two best ways to deal with jet lag and tiredness and sleepiness. And flying for a while, I usually go with one of those two. Mainly what I do is try to follow Abu Dhabi time. If I'm really upside down and there is no more day and night kind of situation, I would try to sleep as much as I can whenever I can. I hope this answered your question. Mostly following Abu Dhabi time works for me. Sometimes I take naps, I squeeze in a nap or something just to try to be able to get a better night's sleep the following night. It's complicated, guys. The life of a cabin crew is complicated, and sleep is the most important component. You might say, oh, traveling is the most important thing and it's all about traveling. But no, guys, long term, you want to have your sleep properly taken care of. Okay, I guess that answered most of your questions. Those were 20 questions randomly selected from my YouTube channel. So I hope you guys enjoyed this Q&A. I do enjoy doing those Q&As because, I feel like I can just take that question and dissect it, just stay on that question and explore the options that I have, as answers. So it's very interesting for me to have those questions all the time, to have these Q&As. Haven't done one for a while, and I'm happy I did now. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about this video. If you have other questions that you want to ask, post them down below. I will try to answer some of them in the comment sections. So let's see if that's possible. Just post questions right down below if you have any. And see you guys on the next one. Like, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Bye bye.